Hey everybody, Real Estate Ninja here. Let's talk about IKEA and how it's going to affect the real estate market. I know it sounds crazy, but IKEA has entered the third phase of an economic crash. Or crisis. How do you know that? Well, the first phase is when things are great. Everything's great. Everything is awesome until the Fed raises interest rates. And then as the Fed starts to raise interest rates, things get tight. People start to spend less. Second phase is that we see the consumer pull back, they're spending less. That's the second phase. They spend less on all kinds of things. One of those things I said was when we went through a travel and leisure downturn, airlines are having to consolidate, airlines were performing less, we're seeing all that kind of stuff. Then we saw the GDP numbers last couple of quarters, and one thing has been falling is furniture. Why? Because you don't need it. When things are getting tight, you don't go out and remodel your home. We've seen that with Lowe's and Home Depot numbers coming out and they're saying, hey, the consumer's changed. Our buyers are no longer going with high-end finishes. They're just repairing things that are breaking. Then you enter the third phase, and this is where IKEA steps in, and we're going to use this as an example for real estate. So exciting. First off, IKEA makes a lot of its sales through people that are remodeling their homes for real estate sales. Real estate sales have fallen off of a cliff, right? Because things are expensive. But people are also pulling back, even if they're not remodeling their home to sell real estate or fix it up, they're just remodeling their home. And GDP numbers came out and shown it. People are buying less furniture. So now what happens is this. This is out of Business Insider. It's a killer story. It says, IKEA says it's going to cut prices this year, and the company's comments on deflation should be setting competitors on edge. Well, first off, why? Because IKEA is a leader in the industry. This is exciting, and that's going to lead to the fourth cycle of a downturn and a crisis. That is going to be IKEA next will be laying people off. Why? Because as it sells less stuff and now it lowers its price, its margins get crushed. Why? Because right now it's already paying higher prices for raw goods, raw materials, and then on top of that, it's paying higher wages. So you put those two together, and then we have ourselves quite an issue. Sorry, I'll be done in like 90 seconds. Sorry, not 90 seconds. This is gonna be awkward. We're gonna go for a little trip. Let's do this. We're gonna go into a corner because there's some people that need to work real quick. And I'm just gonna keep talking about the economy. So you couple those two things together, and then the fourth cycle of an economic downturn comes. Stand by, stay with me. How many we got on here? It's not that much. It'll be like 1,000 in a few minutes. So what do we got going on here? All right. So the Fed's not going to tell you what they're doing. They're doing it on purpose. And now you're seeing the companies getting their margins crushed. So here we go. I'm going to do this in like 3 minutes. It says here, companies across the board have been hiking prices massively in the last few years, citing relentless supply chain disruptions and the shutdown of the world, right? So geopolitical tensions, Russia's war with Ukraine, yada, yada, yada. It says, but Jasper Broden, the CEO of Inca Group, which owns most IKEA stores globally, told Reuters on Monday that the price pressures have eased. So it's sticking to planned price cuts this year, even with the Red Sea shipping woes. Speaking to Reuters at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland, he acknowledged quite significant deflation, acknowledged this deflation upstream in its supply chain. This means input costs are now lower for IKEA, so the retailer can pass on savings to consumers. IKEA has also has enough inventory to offset price hikes from any supply chain shocks. That's actually not true. You know, and that's the thing. They're trying to get you to not sell their stock. They're trying to get investors to calm down. But we're already seeing deflation. We're seeing deflation in certain aspects. And like I said before, I'll say it again, Father Time just doesn't wake up and go, hey, you know what? Let me flip the switch from inflation and deflation. Not all things fall at once. This bubble is so much more massive than the run up to the GFC and the dot-com bubble. So you have to understand how long it's going to take to deflate. And when it does deflate, it's going to be way worse than Deflategate. It is going to be a big deal. And I want you prepared and sitting on the sidelines, foam at the mouth, ready to race like a racehorse in a stall. But you don't want to jump in just yet. We've got a lot more downturn to come. Now, to be sure, IKEA hiked prices in 2022, citing supply chain bottlenecks and saw raw material costs, but the furniture giant started cutting price late last year, citing easing price pressures. That's actually not true. They hiked prices because they thought they could get away with it. They thought the economy was stronger, and what happened? Nobody started buying. Nobody was buying, so they had to lower prices. They got to keep people employed. They got to keep the lights on. This is what happens in every company. But it's exciting when a massive retailer comes out and he's out there warning people at Davos. You know, all those guys that are looking for climate change or can't go on those tangents, Ninja. You see what's going on? They're all on their private jets. It's not just IKEA. U.S. grocery giant Walmart signaled deflation in November as well. But that was before Red Sea attacks happened. Go figure. So you see, even in food, prices coming down. Look, there's some people that got to work. Come on in. I'm going to jam. They got to get to work. I'll see you guys later. The Ninjas out.